Back to any comments from items other than the lagoon project. And I'm particularly going to ask, because I don't exactly know this item at number 5, sex offender. We're asked to put that on the agenda, and I did. But I'm going to need somebody to tell me what it is.
That'd be me, Mr. Baker.
Okay.
Who put it on there?
She did.
I did.
Who did?
Christine.
I want to ask the town board to make up an ordinance stating that registered sex offenders cannot live within 500 feet of anywhere children gather, like churches, library, playgrounds, daycares, if something wonderful happens to this town and we get a daycare.
Have you looked into this, Christine?
Yes, I've spoken to the sheriff, and Deschler has placed ordinances in their town.
Okay. All right. I'm going to let you continue. Thank you.
So I don't know if you want me to keep talking to a lawyer about it, or if you just want to talk to your lawyer about it, if you decide to do this, because I'm tired of worrying about my kids.
I'm concerned about, my biggest concern would be that we
Can be sued.
Yeah, that we are
You can't.
acting
I've already
with,
spoken
that we
to
would
somebody.
be acting
You can't
legally.
be sued on this.
So
Unless you.
we can check, certainly look into that. I would appreciate it if you would give me at least something roughed out in writing.
Okay.
I heard what you were saying, where children gather, daycare, etc.
Mm-hmm.
If you would just put that in writing so I don't misspeak, or I could draft something that would be, make sure that it meets, that we aren't overstepping ourselves.
Okay.
Is there anything else on that?
If you
I don't think we can do that tonight.
Right, that's fine. I don't expect that. I just wanted to bring it up so you can start thinking about it.
Yes. Okay.
And if you or your lawyer needs to speak to someone, Murray and Hebron handles that too. They drew up
Well, I suppose we can
Deschler's.
talk to our attorney, and if she says
There's nothing they can do.
we're acting within our parameters. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
right. There's the thing.
You said who in Deschler?
And if they drink
Murray
it, then the law
and
is-
Hebron.
Murray.
Oh, Jim.
Murray.
Jim
Murray.
Okay, I misunderstood you.
Yeah, they handled Deschler's ordinances.
Okay. You can drop that over to the house anytime.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything on that subject?
On
that subject. All right, then we will take comments on other items. Garnet.
Last meeting, you were discussing about Rick's problem along that street over there that the church is on and his property's on. Donay had said that she was having problems with her ditch too, and you told her to have it, that it would be handled at this meeting.
I told her I would look at it, and I did.
Did you show him your pictures?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't find that is I think there's something we can do, all right? There's tree roots there that
Well, it wasn't
prohibit.
until they removed too much of the dirt. I
No,
thought the tree would be
that's
dead.
not exactly true, because there is water flowing under the drive. I think you use that drive to park a vehicle
Jack's hole.
from,
Jack's hole.
right. And if that weren't flowing under there, then we would clearly have water standing to the west of that drive.
And Jack's hole.
All right. So if we put a fill in the area where the water's coming from Jack's, we back it up on Jack's. That doesn't solve her problem.
Right, it's not on an
The
A.
tree roots, if we didn't have authority to destroy the tree, which you would do if you took the tree roots out. If you're telling us you want us to destroy the tree, then I can have, but I'm not going to remove the tree. That's your tree.
I'm just saying that the tree works were not exposed until Scott
That's
and
true.
Patty went in there.
That's true.
And I wasn't here to look at what was being done. I was in Fairbury, and when I come back,
On the
my
east side
other
of the
ditch
tree
that was
roots,
on
I
the
think
other
there's
side-
some pooling that can be corrected with fairly easily, and we'll have
But they removed
Scott
my
look
other
at it when he
driveway
comes up
culvert
here.
that was on the east side.
The amount of water standing there is insignificant. Insignificant.
What do you say?
INSIG.
It don't matter.
It don't make any difference.
It's
Oh.
not a lot of
No.
water. It's gone in 2 days.
Previously, Maureen
We have to simplify here.
and Alex.
Now, beyond that, that was your comment? You brought this up, Marla.
No, I just was, you said it would be on the meeting. It's her property, not mine now. I was just
Okay.
informing you that more dirt was removed, and I wasn't there to see what was done. And when I talked to you about the problem, before Scott and Patty went in there, I was under assumption, because you told me it was gonna just look just like yours in front of your property, and I get back and half of my bank is missing. But by then, it's too far gone to do anything, and I really don't care about it, but it's a whole lot messier mess now. Cows didn't
No,
help.
no, it's not. The water drains.
How about over there where I live? Who's gonna cut the weeds out of the drainage ditch so it can drain into the village?
You'll probably have to do that.
Why? It's not my property.
Well, then,
Don't cut them.
don't cut them, I guess.
I guess that was a lot of work that they did for nothing.
Case in point, look at my.
I cut them out over by my place to make it drain. I take a shovel to make it drain.
Is there any comments on any of the other items here? Yes.
Now,
Item number 6. I got a question with the criminal complaint versus criminal civil complaint. Aren't those reversed?
No, they're not.
So the $25 fine was under a criminal complaint?
Yeah, and I had them reversed. And I think my understanding that we were pursuing a civil complaint, but we weren't. The civil complaint, you get an order to clean up the property, and then you have to, attach a bill to the property or lien against the property, which, of course, your chances of collecting are slim and none.
You mean the village would clean the property up and bill?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So we pursued a criminal complaint, and that's why. And I had them reversed in my own mind.
What
And
does
if
that
I
mean?
confused everybody, I apologize. So those are our options. We pursued the criminal complaint, and the civil complaint is going to cost even more, because then you're going to, I say you, the village is going to bear the cost of cleanup and have to
And then it
attach a
just
lien to
goes
the
on
property.
tax
Did you
bill.
take pictures and show them to the attorney or judge or whoever when you filed the first complaint? Had you filed the first complaint?
I don't believe so. I think, I don't think, he was found guilty. We didn't need any, we have taken pictures, but,
Maybe they should have looked at the pictures.
They still can't force them to do anything until 7 years of it.
I don't know that would have, I don't know. What we were told was we could refile the criminal complaint and,
Yeah, it's just more money in their pocket.
right.
all
More
about
money
the
for the
dollars.
attorney, more money for the court, more money. Let's say they get fined $75, then we're still losing, it's going to cost us $300 to file a complaint.
And they still won't pay the fine. You
Well, I think they paid the fine, but they have 2 weeks to do it. So,
gotta go to jail.
I have a question about that house. If somebody bought that house, where would you take all the trash? Do you? Because I'm not familiar with dump. Do you guys have dumps around here that you take stuff to, or everyone has a dump? So you just pay per pound or something?
Costs more
you
because
could
we're out
probably
of
pay
county.
to have it, have a firm come and remove it, or you
Just
can
like
take it by the
truckloads?
pickup load down to Fairbury, and that'd be a lot of pickup loads on that property.
Get one of the
but,
big dumpsters out there.
Who's going to pay for it?
That's still a cost to the village, and they still won't own the property for
Yeah, there's no way to do it without cost.
No, it'd still be a burden on the village, I think.
The interesting thing is individuals
Excuse me.
I think it'd still be a burden on the village.
It's affecting your property.
Well, any way to cut it is. Is that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
but I think it, just make a benefit out of it or something, just put a cookout, and have everybody do it.
Well, I would look the other way if somebody did that. We're in the comment section here. Any other comments on the agenda? There's several other
Phillips
items. I
house
suppose
on the
that's pretty
6th and Harbine, the brown house with the tall weeds across the street from
much-
Me?
No. If not, we'll oh, excuse me, I
It's
didn't
not
see
on
it.
the agenda, but I was just wondering if there's any way that if the Taylor property could be mowed. Until the state did it today, you couldn't see traffic coming from the north. They just trimmed it just a little bit.
Oh.
And that's
Where you turn to go toward the state lakes.
right there on North Street.
Right on the highway, right on the corner. Right on the corner.
You know, when
North
people come
Street.
to the state lakes, that's the first thing they see in our
North
town
Street.
is just overgrown grass.
Honey, you can't go to any corner of this town.
I know,
than that.
but until they trimmed it today, you couldn't see a car.
Who did that?
The state
Assume the state,
did a path about like this.
they've been mowing the roads.
But until today, you couldn't see cars coming. It was so overgrown. Anyway, I was just wondering if there's any way
yeah,
to be
I
mowed.
talked to Jason about that. I know that, I think he's doing about as much as you can get. Rate of mowing. You gotta have a shredder type thing. Okay,
Is anybody gonna, talk about mowing real quick. Is it on the schedule any time for the ballpark to be mowed?
no, it's gonna be hay.
Paved? Okay.
I mean, it's gonna be hay, I don't exactly, they're not gonna, that was a concession we made, to get some, other things done more frequently, to let the ballpark and the east part, or the west part of the south part be hayed. I mean, nobody uses them, so they'll get cut, but it won't be right away. Okay, I don't think there's anything more to be said on item number 5 right now. We'll go do some research on that.
Okay, what
I'll
number
talk
is
to
he
our
on?
attorney.
I'm not sure.
Uh,
7, I think.
Number 6, but my thought is, there is no good answer, but I think we've got to target a property. We haven't gotten anything done, basically, because we don't have a clear-cut goal, and there's not much we can do with the Phelps property. I don't know if we can even get access to that. Linda Bauer told me that, what's her name, maybe I said this last meeting, did sign the property over to the village, the Blake property. We haven't accepted it, so it's still their property. We can accept it, but we also accept, when we do that, we accept the liability. Or we can wait for the Williams property to come up for sale.
And there's asbestos in that one property.
Yeah, the Blake.
Blake says
property.
it asbestos.
You asked about the trash cleanup. I cleaned up 3 loads of crap from the Blake property that you couldn't even see from the street. Hauled 3 loads of trash is what it was, after they took those buildings out of there, and took it to the transfer station in Fairbury at $9 a load. Okay, the village isn't, I'm paying for that. Okay, then I took two pickup loads, albeit my pickup is not the biggest, of riprap out and put them in Matt Buckley's riprap pile out west of town that he can use for bank stabilization. I've got a burn permit. Quite frankly, there haven't been a lot of good days for burning because of the wind. So I can and will be doing some burning up there, but it'll be when there's no wind.
What are we gonna burn, the house? or-
No, I'd like to burn the house, but there's an awful lot of brush and in behind. You can't even see it from the street. There's that tree alongside the house. I'm not gonna be able to do anything with that. If I thought maybe Rick was interested in that, so I didn't. If he takes that away, then that so much the better. If he doesn't, if he says I'm going to do that, then I'll maybe see if I can pull it or make some other arrangement. I don't even have a chainsaw, so that's kind of outside of my bailiwick. But that doesn't change the fact that you still got a bird out property there. I mean,
We can hang curbs in it, it still ain't gonna
no,
work.
that ain't gonna do it either, Judy. You're right, absolutely.
Really
Well, how about Williams' property? It says here something about.
Well, what I'm saying is, we need to decide. You know, I'm not going to call a company to see what it would cost to have that asbestos removed on the Blake property and packaged and taken to an appropriate landfill, unless the board identifies that as the priority property.
Yeah,
If they
because it's next to
do,
the
we can look at it, and if they say, well, we can't afford that, we can move on to another. We can move on. Or we could try to jump on the sheriff and see if he'd get this other property up for sale, so we could do something with that. But we got to focus on a property at a time.
Well, why don't you go in order of the ones that have been sitting the longest burned
Well,
up?
we tried to do that, and then we get
Because that's
distracted.
Williams, then it's Phillips, and then it's Blake.
And Williams is full of cats now,
Williams
too.
would be the first.
They gotta be a good one. That's gonna
Blake's
cost
would
for
be
I think
sale.
Phillips.
No, Williams.
Is there any way that we
Williams
could
would be
get
the
rid of
first.
that old map?
So I never heard that.
Well, I thought Marge had somebody lined up to do that.
Well, just.
We thought we had,
Take
I
that,
thought we
yeah.
had somebody,
We don't have anybody necessarily to, we have to have people be able to load it.
Load what?
Load what?
oh, that's trash in front
Trash
of, across from the
Got
Catholic
the
Church.
church.
Catty corner across.
Steve.
Well, actually,
But
across
most
the
of
door.
it that blew across down
Didn't
the place.
she sign the paper saying that we could haul it off?
Did she?
We can get
Yeah.
rid of it.
Oh, we
Gosh,
can?
it's-
We can get rid of it?
Yeah, I guess. She gave
Did
permission.
anybody go down and get it trimmed on and get it out of?
A couple of meetings ago, Doris came up to the idea of cleaning up the stuff underneath that awning at Phillips's place. I could go one step further, but the whole town would have to be in on it. Why couldn't we each take a bag of trash, double bag it, and take it to our own trash and set it out each day, each week, and we could empty that out. We're paying trash anyway, and some of us only have one little tiny bag that sits out there, and then the others have
That
a
is,
lot.
that's so full of rats and skunk and possum live in there now. Oh, no.
Without permission from Phillips.
First of all, we
We
had
wear gloves.
Bob, I was talking to Bob Bockel, he lives right north of that property
Mhm.
today, and he said, what can I do? And I said, get permission from her to mow it. He wanted to mow it.
Permission to clean it up.
And if he can get permission to mow it, I mean, I can talk to Bob, and the next step, maybe they give it permission to do that. I can talk to him about that and say, if you're going to ask for that, I can talk to him myself. for
But
that.
I mean, that way there would be no big, huge charge to get rid of all that trash. If we
Well,
could bag it up and set it in
I
each
haven't- I have
person's
not-
house.
Yeah, that's,
Still have to get written permission from them or pass along.
I think we'd have to get some permission
If they
from
try
her.
to charge her.
You-
Well, I'm sure that if they
But
don't have
beyond
to deal
that,
with
then
it.
we'll see how many people show up.
Yes, exactly.
Breath.
You know, I mean,
Hell, I'll throw
I
it
don't
back
think
in
it's,
my truck
I'm not
and
gonna
drop
tell
it
you
off
it's a
there.
bad idea.
I got a trailer, we'll put it on a trailer, we'll just drop them off people's houses. There you go.
Pre-dawn hours.
The Easter Bunny has arrived.
I will check with Bob and see if he's
First, we gotta get started on it.
gonna pursue it, and if he's not, I'll
You
look
cut your
into
foot
it.
or step on a nail.
I don't have any, I'm
Yeah,
not
but you
exactly sure how to get a hold of him.
You know, I mean, that's the only way we're ever gonna get
Couldn't get a hold of him,
it
so
done.
you know.
You know, geez. It
All right.
was disgusting. I saw it.
Get either a box or something.
Hmm?
I'll get a call.
From Phillips?
Hey, have you been missing
All right, would you
chickens?
do that?
No.
Somebody's missing chickens because there was a carcass over on
Well,
our
are we-
place and one out in
do
the
we
middle of the
wanna-
road there.
This is
I think
Brandon.
we need to move on one.
Is it Brandon's?
Okay.
And
Williams?
No, but I saw that
It's
flash.
been there sitting there the longest.
Oh, I think Ollie killed him last night.
Then I'll get,
really?
I'm gonna
Yeah, I had a hell of a ruckus on my front porch. I went out there and Ollie got shit out, blood all over the place. One less dog.
Fox.
Marge is
Yeah.
Marge is gonna get permission from Phillips to access
I'll
the
get a signed
property.
thing, so we
All
are
right.
covered. Okay?
Okay.
Actually, I'm
We're gonna,
gonna.
again, we're gonna work on the Phillips or not the Phillips we're gonna work on the Phillips property there, but we're gonna identify the Williams property. I'm gonna contact the sheriff and see if we can't move the sale along. I don't suppose they feel any urgency over there. They don't feel our pain, but,
They take forever.
Just take $1 over to him and say, just sign the
I
paper.
think that'll do it.
Yeah.
Well, that brings me to number 7 here. This is kind of, I'm going to be a little bit facetious here. After last month's meeting, I contacted the State Department of Roads over in Hebron, asking for them some assistance on these potholes off of the highway. And I also asked him for some assistance in identifying appropriate signage for the street that's broken up, assuming we get that repaired. I said, I'd like to get some, because we had talked about that last month, all right? So, I won't say a few days, maybe a week or 10 days went by, and he called me and he said, did you call me about the bridge south of town? No, I didn't call you about the bridge south of town. But that came up at last month's meeting as well. In fact, I don't know, I'm not going to say who brought it up because I don't remember, but I do know that it came up. Well, whoever called about the bridge south of town called his supervisor in Grand Island, okay? And he was not a happy camper. I don't feel bad for him, but I don't think the person gave him a lot of response time. The good news is, whoever called, they filled the hole on the bridge.
Yeah.
The bad news is, he thinks it's me. So, how much help I'm going to get is yet on these other things is up in the air. Maybe I'll have to call his supervisor, or whoever did can call again.
I noticed when I drove over.
But anyway, that's the sequence of events there on that. I'm waiting.
But they know the governor.
I did not call just to remind myself.
Control if you're going to test it.
We'll go on to
I was told.
the
A little blue bridge.
claims, treasurer's reports and minutes.
What's the zone? Called overpass?
We do have 2 minutes to approve. One is the special meeting minutes. I don't know if that was in your packet or
Yeah, right, was.
it was
That's here now.
The minutes. What about these other ones?
yeah. Okay.
Big orange, that one.
And also on those claims, I put in the send dues, and they also put in there one for housing dues, which you have never paid.
What do you do?
The send dues.
Sand I got. What
Yeah,
was it?
and then the next one down is send, is for housing dues. They did a survey on housing last year, and I know it's because the county pays them for it. On your new list that I gave you.
$53.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you don't have to pay that. The other one you do have to pay, because you are using them,
Right.
right?
So we don't have to pay the housing dues?
Not if you don't want to.
What do we get for the housing dues?
Well, they did a survey over that. Not that we
Well,
ever
I'm not,
paid.
I'll let somebody else can decide then.
Yeah.
I'll vote.
It doesn't apply to us, we don't have any viable housing.
They actually do have those over.
Yeah, how I
That's all the year. Usually.
Alan, you want to speak at all to that Peterson plumbing bill in terms of what work was performed? Okay.
The bill for Peterson Plumbing, there were actually 3 different things on that. We put a new meter pit, or we had the pit. Peterson installed a meter pit and our meter and a new curb stop over here at Bonds. And then Mark Anderson had a 2-inch blow-off hydrant that was leaking, so we dug that up, we replaced that, put a shut-off in with the new blow-off hydrant. over by Gene and Dale Pletcher's, we had proposed putting a blow-off hydrant in up there quite a while ago. So when we started digging that, the map shows that it's a 2-inch line from the fire hydrant all the way up to the Pletcher property. Well, when we started digging it up, about 2/3 of the way, we found out that it was cut off from 2-inch and went to 3/4 inch copper pipe. And the 3/4 inch copper pipe was feeding Gene and Dale's place. So the board decided we'll just go ahead and we'll put 2-inch all the way into Pletcher's, up to Pletcher's. And that's what we did, put a blow-off hydrant. Hopefully they've got a little bit better water pressure.
Oh, yeah.
Now with a 2-inch line instead of a 3/4.
You won't get all that rust either anymore.
Yeah, that's all plastic. The other stuff is galvanized and copper. Do you want me to just finish my report?
When will we get rid of all
What?
the dirt?
It'll eventually settle, Gene. Otherwise, whatever is left, we're gonna haul off. But I took it upon myself to have gravel dumped over there because that would have been pretty messy. But that's where
You gotta let it settle for a while.
yeah.
You know.
That's where this $9,000 bill come in at, and we'd like to have a little bit more of a breakdown of all 3 places where he did the work.
He did the door.
But that's what was done.
But that's what was
All
done.
of which had been authorized.
It was all authorized. So,
Do you want to get, do you have any?
yeah, we bought. The board said we could go ahead and buy 6 hydrants, or excuse me, water meters. They're just plain used water meters. They aren't. There's no readouts, no nothing on them. We bought them from Pawnee County Rural Water District. We gave $10 a piece for them. My wife and I went down to Pawnee City to pick them up. The guy actually gave us 10 for the price of 6. And I installed one on Mr. Lappinghouse's hydrant over here on his garden. And then there's 2 that were put on at the Hosick property for Dawn May, and also for the property at Betty Boleyn's on their pasture. So the meters
That's
are
not
in.
like the meters that you put in our houses?
No,
No. They'll only be read once, right?
they'll only be, yeah.
At the
Donna
end
will
of the
read those.
season?
I'll read them monthly.
She'll read them on.
Oh, okay.
I went to all 3 and weed eated so they could get there and sprayed it. We do need to do something with the grass in our lagoon, so.
No, I thought you were going to talk about that.
I did, but nothing has been done.
Did you pursue that on the fire hydrants that come up
I
missing?
did. I was going to bring that up. I had that down here as part of.
Basically, that's all I've got.
Okay.
Anybody have any questions?
Can I buy
Thank you.
one of them and put them in my house?
No, it won't work. It won't work with Donna's.
What about the
With
other
the
ones
electronic
online?
control.
I was going to give this as part of Alan's report anyway. I don't know how long that was ago. Mr. Lappinghouse came across the street and asked me if I knew that some fire hydrants that had been removed and were laying down south of the south well house were no longer there. Well, I didn't know that. So, and true, that Rick was right. They were gone. So somebody, I called Alan then after and said, had he made arrangements to have them taken away for salvage? He didn't know anything about it. So I called the Thayer County Sheriff's Department, reported the theft, and that's where it stands.
Did you go look where I told you to look?
Yeah.
Did you see?
I'm pretty convinced those aren't the ones.
I'm pretty convinced they are.
Then you need to report it.
Well, I don't have a problem doing it.
That's your
David Lee?
Excuse me?
Report it. David Lee?
Yeah.
I don't know who I talked to.
Where did you thought you?
I know I saw
We heard them load them.
I heard him
That
laugh.
night?
When they were
it was
loading
in
them,
LA.
when
Those
they
are
finished
not
their
the
job.
same hydrants. I looked at them twice.
You know, I looked at him every day for the last 7 years.
Well,
You know,
no, they haven't been out. They haven't been
Yeah.
there that long.
So no, but well,
That's all right.
yeah, they were
That's up to you.
they were
I'm
out
not
there the
sure.
last 7 years.
'Cause I'm 95% convinced that they're not.
All right.
Who's lying?
Didn't they replace some of
Talking
our,
about water meters.
wasn't it a couple of fire hydrants?
Not water meters,
Replaced
it's
fire
fire hydrants. And
Oh yeah,
tubes.
we've had. I don't know how many we've
Could that have
replaced.
been the ones that they were loading out?
Yeah, that's what your the ones that they would take out that were broken,
Yeah.
and they
But
left
those
them
have
down
all-
there for
yeah.
salvage, you know.
But I mean, if they took those water meters out, and, I mean, the
Hydrants.
hydrants out and put new hydrants in, would they take the old ones away?
No,
No, those belong to the village.
Oh, I,
Yeah.
but somebody took them.
Somebody.
Store them in a shed.
well, they should be kind of valuable.
No, they're
pretty
salvage. Yeah, they're heavy. You would
About
you wouldn't
about
pick them
two.
up and load them with your
$200
hands.
Water meters
Probably.
offhand, do you guys ever turn them all on to see if they actually work?
Yes.
Oh, thank God. Somebody have a fire and it don't work.
Rick, the reason I say that is the ones that are stacked down there in his lot, I could lift.
The ones in the alley behind his
No,
business.
there's only one there.
Well, then they
Oh,
were
they've
already
moved
gone.
them.
They've moved them.
Well, there was one.
Because there
Yeah.
was like 6 of them there and
Oh, I
long
didn't see
tubes and
that. There was
everything.
one big, way bigger than anything we had.
No. These were back towards the middle of there was toilets and then there was a whole bunch
They
of them.
weren't there.
Oh, they've already got
They've
rid
already
of them.
moved them.
Well, that I wouldn't know. There was my wife was with me. She could.
Plastic thing?
The other
I know
ones
what you
could
were
lift,
talking
and I know
about.
that those were bigger than that.
Yeah. Well, the ones that it's all right. The ones that when I talked to you, we just got back from town. I think the day prior, and they were all piled up there. Just
'Cause I went there that night that you came over.
well, they were there just north of the toilets. There was like 6 fire hydrants. There was the same ones that were
In the
sitting over
alley.
here for a long time. Absolutely.
They weren't there.
Somebody moved them. And, oh well.
Probably take those to Dorchester.
Well, that was the other thing. The sheriff said that he would contact all the salvage yards in the area. So,
Can I make a comment? I got a call last year from Warner. You know, in Belvedere, they had the plant set up there a couple of years ago. And that first winter, the plant was still there. And sometime during the winter, someone took every bit of cable from that plant.
It doesn't surprise
yeah,
me.
they steal from
And they
construction
just said,
sites.
did I know anything about it?
Nick and Steve didn't have telephone. And somebody went out to the state road and picked get the telephone.
Wire.
Cable.
Yeah.
Everything's been in there and then you've got
But
a
I
couple
know how
wires
much
and
cable
All right,
is.
we're on claims, treasurer's reports in a minute.
I'll make a motion.
Mrs. Dirklinger made a motion and Mr. Van Westen seconded to approve the treasurer's report. Claims and minutes. Any further discussion? Okay, Mark,
Yes.
Jim,
Yeah.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Marge,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes.
So we are guessing what?
The same thing we've been on for about 10 minutes.
If you would speak up.
Well, if you wouldn't
NRD
speak
grant
so much,
application.
you'd know what we're talking about.
You get 60.
That wasn't the
I don't
NRD, it's
appreciate being
lower.
made fun of.
I'm not making fun of you. Your mouth never stops. That's why you can't hear.
Well, then USDA, what is that? That's where I got the question mark.
Oh, that's the ADA policy.
I thought we did that. That wasn't for the USDA, was it?
No.
Well, take them one at a time. I filled out a little application for a couple $1,000s for the NRD. I don't know that I really need approval, but on the application it says the board is aware that the application is made. And since I made application for some of the monies that we authorized for the project over on Vera Street. Scott Effenbach said they have money for that kind of work. but she needed this application by the 14th, which is day after tomorrow. So I worked on it. I'm informing you of it. I don't know that I'm necessarily asking for approval, although I put approval. I don't know that we'll get any money. I think we could get some money for drainage projects. Something we might want to think about down the road. I think we would want to involve maybe the engineer that we never used from Columbus to put together a project. Marge, we just talked informally about some other things around town that could be done, but it is matching, okay? So that kind of, I mean, it's a good deal, but you still got to have half the money. So how much you want to allocate for that, or if you did, you know, in the application I put that we had done several projects on an ongoing basis, which we have. So this might be if we decide we want to do some more, we ought to look at this as a sort of possible.
I think we need to, when was there another open grant? Or is it gonna have to wait a whole year?
I think the gist of this was that they were looking for projects before their fiscal year closes at the end of June.
Okay,
And so they were going to review this on the 25th, all right? So we would be looking, if we were looking at something, you're looking at a July 1, June 30 fiscal year, all right?
So if they decide to do this again,
Well, they will, apparently
we don't know
Ruskin's
when.
got a pretty good chunk of money the
Yeah.
last 2 years running, and Mr. Effenbeck was working over there, and that's how he found out about it and alerted me to it, so.
So it could be next year
Right.
again, that they probably would.
Right.
Okay.
And as this
Have to
plays
be
out,
July.
July 1st,
Yeah.
which would be July 1st for their fiscal year.
starts, right.
Yeah, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Because we know we do have to do this project for the state before they pave the road over there. We know that has to be done. On
Okay.
4th Street, that's gonna be major over there.
Now, the ADA.
Oh, I got a letter a couple months ago.
I remember that.
Okay. And I went ahead and typed up a policy, and I talked to League of Municipalities, Flash, the attorney up there, and he said it's not really necessary for villages because you'll never get any federal money. He says if you had trails or something like that, if you were a city or county, yeah, he says I would not even worry about it. It's from the Department of Transportation.
Right.
It's a ADA policy.
So you're saying we don't need to do anything?
That's what he said. He says that you'll never,
Okay.
and he knew all about it, and he just right away answered that you won't get federal money from the Department of Transportation.
Maybe like those big trails that go
Like
through the
in
actors.
Baptist and Lincoln, or he says counties definitely will have to have one. And we do have an ADA policy with USDA with the project going on now.
I know she was inspecting that.
Yeah.
Historical dump doors.
All right, and then we have a couple of building permit. I don't know that we have to act. Well, we have to act on Jim for the.
Yeah, just on Jim.
What are those?
Right here.
We have approved by Chris Fry a grain bin that Mr. Vernon Wasson is putting up west of town, but apparently they've deemed it's either within the 1 mile radius of the community or they're just plain of safe. And then, so that's one, and the other is carport. Jim Wasson has applied for 21 by 18 foot carport on his property. And the zoning commission's given the go-ahead on both of those. So I don't know why we would have a reason to object.
Yeah, I'll make the motion if we have.
You want to do it one at a
Yeah,
time?
I'll approve the building permit from Vern Lawson to put up a grain bin.
There aren't any specifics on
Yeah.
that. Are there?
I think it's just for your information that one, they approved it and it's going up.
That's more the county thing, so, but we
Okay.
still need to, within a 1 mile jurisdiction.
But there's nothing we have to sign on it.
Oh, we
On the
don't.
other we do.
The other one we do.
Okay.
So just a motion on the carport.
Okay, then I'll make a motion to approve that. We did 18 by
21.
18 by 21 carport.
Mhm.
Get it?
I think there's a,
Yeah.
is this the location?
Yeah, the flags.
There's a map here and a photo of the site.
What size is it, Jim?
It's, if you want to look at, well, it's located in relation to other buildings on the property.
Couldn't interfere. He owns all that property, so all setbacks are met. So. Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the 18 by 20 cardboard. You have that under your name?
Yeah.
Under Jeff, for James Watson.
Second.
He didn't.
Aye. Marge made the motion, we'll give a second, Mr. Anderson. Any discussion? Call the question. Jeremy?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Marge?
Yes.
I vote aye. Jim? You want to abstain?
I should abstain.
You want to abstain, Mr. Jim? We had a report from Alan. The work was done. We think approved the bill from Orff on some of the work that was approved at the community center. Do you want to talk any more about that, Marge? Tell them what has been accomplished.
Oh, well, in Henry's bill, that would include the south aluminum, or
Storm
foundation
door,
storm door
combination
was
door.
replaced, and then he